What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on Rangers Central. And today we're going to discuss the latest signing, or re-signing, you should say, as the Rangers have brought back Chad Ruhwedel on a two-way deal, 1 year at the league minimum. Before I give my thoughts and everything, please be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're a Ranger fan, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. And there's really not many thoughts to have here other than I love the deal, honestly. You need a body that's better than Casey Fitzgerald, that's better than Connor Mackey, Ben Harper, and whoever else really is in the system, Brandon Scanlon, whoever else you want to name. The Rangers need more bodies, especially on defense, and Chad Ruhwedel is definitely a guy that's good in that role, a guy that was the 8th defenseman last year as the Rangers traded a 4th for him, which I found bizarre because, one, trading a 4th for an 8th defenseman's a little crazy, and two, they played guys that were injured anyway, so I was like, all right, if you're going to trade a 4th, at least play him, but he only got 5 games, and guys were injured when he probably should have got more. But regardless, this makes trading a 4th round pick at the deadline this past season a little more palatable, because now you end up bringing him back, and the Rangers finally bringing back a deadline acquisition. Hallelujah, it felt like they would never do that. But regardless, yeah, a guy that's going to play third pair shelter minutes. Hopefully it's not that bad ever an injury situation. I'm going to knock on wood there that he has to play more than that. A guy that could log you 15 to 17 minutes a night and give you serviceable play. A guy that throws hits even though he's 5'11". A guy that doesn't take a lot of penalties, which I like about him. And a guy that also takes the puck away more than he gives it away. And I will say as well, do I think he's a better option than Trouba? Yeah, but it's just that because of the money Trouba's making, Trouba's going to end up sitting in the press, or Ruhwedel's going to be in the press box. Trouba's going to play, which, you know, barring a Trouba trade, Ruhwedel's going to be the 7th defenseman, which I don't envision a Trouba trade happening at this rate of the offseason with the way things are going and the whole thing with his family and the no trade clause. I don't really want to get into that. I've gave some of my thoughts on Twitter and stuff. But again, I really don't want to, you know, say the wrong thing by accident because people take things out of context. But regardless, Chad Ruhwedel is here, the 7th defenseman, and again, absolutely love it. A guy that could play a shutdown type of role even if you need him to, and a guy that could kill penalties too if you really need him to. I really don't hate the idea of, you know, say a guy gets injured and then Chad Ruhwedel's forced to be thrust in the action play on the penalty kill because you don't want Zach Jones there. That would make a lot of sense, and I think he would do a very good job at it. And at the end of the day, the Rangers have employed way worse 7th defensemen in the past, whether it's a guy like Patrick Nemeth, or, well, Nemeth was actually an everyday player. I should say Jared Tenorti on that roster. Whether it's, again, Nemeth, though, who did get forced into that role once they acquired Justin Braun that deadline, which they traded a 3rd for him, which was a little absurd. I could just keep going down the list, but the Rangers have not, in my opinion, had like a solid 7th defenseman in a while, and I hate that I have to like even get myself hyped up for a 7th defenseman signing because that's just what it is at this rate. But it's really exciting, honestly, like the fact that they actually brought him back, which, again, I'm not jumping to the moon doing cartwheels and backflips over this, but it's exciting to know that they actually care about the 7th defenseman spot this year, where in years prior, it's just been, you know what, just put a Band-Aid there and it really doesn't matter. And there's just never been enough insurance. I like that they have insurance this year. And again, if a guy is hurt, and this is the main thing that I will say about the Ruhwedel signing, if guys are hurt again, like I don't want to see Adam Fox, if he's dealing with a knee injury again, hopefully not, down the stretch playing when you have Chad Ruhwedel here, who's a serviceable NHL defenseman. I don't want to see Jacob Trouba trying to go through heroics this year again by playing hurt. If he truly has a chunk of his ankle pop off again, I don't want to see Jacob Trouba out there trying to log big-time minutes when you have Chad Ruhwedel there. Same goes for the left side. I think it's fine if Ruhwedel has to play on the left side a bit. If, God forbid, you have to deal with Ryan Lindgren, who's due for an injury every year. If Ryan Lindgren's hurt, I don't want to see him out there trying to play heroics like I mentioned with Trouba, and I want to see Chad Ruhwedel in the lineup because, again, I think he's a very serviceable, solid defenseman. The metrics back up that he was very good last year, and even from the eye test from that one game, or those 5 games he played, I should say, even though it was 5 games, I liked what we got from Chad Ruhwedel. Again, he was kind of forced to play weird minutes, and I don't really particularly think a lot of things were his fault when he was on the ice there. I know he was a -2, but again, I really don't think a lot of that has to do with him being a dash 2. And either way, he's a guy that doesn't put up points, so he's probably going to be a dash more times than not. But again, he played the left side too. I'm pretty sure he played the left side with Schneider a couple times when he was in the lineup those few times. But again, I could be wrong. A guy, of course, that does have experience playing with Pittsburgh. I think he ended up being on one of their cup winning teams at the very least. So there you go. If you want to talk about cup experience, since that's what we rave about all the time, you have that to his name as well. I could be wrong, but trying that. Yeah, there you go. One-time cup winner. And yeah, you're not expecting him to, again, light the world on fire, play every day. But as long as he's actually utilized is what I care about when guys are hurt, because I just don't want to see them doing what they did last year, which was just annoying, because Trouba could have went on LTIR and they could have went out there and just played Chad Ruhwedel or Zach Jones, and then or even both if they wanted to put Trouba and Lindgren on LTIR to make sure both of those guys are healed up for the playoffs. I wouldn't have minded them putting both of these guys in the lineup, and then they could have used the cap space to acquire additional help, whether it's on defense, whether it's in the forward group. Because like we saw, the Rangers need to do more at the deadline, and they just didn't because, again, cap reasons and Jacob Trouba playing through a chunk of his ankle being broken off, which, again, was just bizarre to me. But yeah, I really don't know if I have much else to say, honestly, with Chad Ruhwedel. But in terms of what the depth on the blue line is probably going to look like as of now that they added him, like I mentioned, some of the other guys like a Connor Mackey, Ben Harper is still in the system. And if you want to look at more defensemen, which I'm trying to pull up right now, you still have Matthew Robertson, who could sign as an RFA, that's in the system. You have Ben Harper, of course, Casey Fitzgerald, Connor Mackey, Scanlon. If I had to imagine, unless Robertson finally takes a big leap in development, which I don't know if I envision at this rate, I would have to imagine that the first call up behind Ruhwedel would probably be Connor Mackey, then Ben Harper, then you go to Fitzgerald, Scanlon, and then Robertson if you really have to dig into the depth there, which, again, hopefully it doesn't reach that level. But again, you need a seventh defenseman, and you got a seventh defenseman, because I was waiting for something like this to happen, but it just never did until just now. So yeah, that's really all I got for you guys on Chad Ruhwedel. That is going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notifications. By the way, we go live on Sundays at 11 a.m. if you are interested in tuning into those live streams, or 11:30. So we'll talk more about Chad Ruhwedel, talk more about depth options for the Rangers maybe to sign, because the offseason is far from done, unfortunately, even though it's, you know, the dog days of the offseason. It's very slow, where we're just waiting and waiting and waiting as it's a crawl to September, October. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.